gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. It is Sports Unfolded, Season 3, Episode 52, 2023 in Memorium. Very sad show towards the end, but we are at the end of the year. 52 episodes, Season 4 next year. Again, that's what we do. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron. How are you tonight?
Doing all right. Ready
I
to
am
go?
excited, man.
Now, we talked about this before the show. Because of the Christmas card things, and how we were always losing them, we decided we're going to tabulate those Christmas cards lost for the entire year, and they start now.
I love it, and I love the fact that we already know you're going to win, Ron, which is fine by me. We just want to see the tally at the end of the year.
Yes.
How many possible cards could you have lost? Let's go, Kenny, joining us live. So, Ron, let me ask you this before we start our show. This is the end of 2023. New Year's right around the corner, Monday, right? Sunday night, Monday.
Yep.
What New Year's resolution? What's on the docket for Ron? What are you thinking about? What are you looking for in 2024?
Well, like this right down here, got the new graphic there. I'm kind of proud that I can actually do something that good, to be honest with you. But I want to add one that says sponsored by.
Okay.
That is what I want to add for the year.
I love it. If you guys are joining us live tonight, please feel free to join in and comment and want to talk about anything. Let us know. Other than politics and religion, we are all game. Kenny, do you have a New Year's resolution? If you want, put it on the chat after. My New Year's resolution, very similar, Ron. I want to just continue to be successful and grow Sports Unfolded in 2024, and I'm excited to do that with you, and I appreciate you taking all your time to do it with me.
I did get a letter back from a potential candidate, right?
Okay.
So that soda can with the red and the white letters, they denied.
Oh,
said no.
hey.
No.
Listen.
So it's all about Pepsi today, baby. It's all about Pepsi.
Listen, you can't get it. You can't get a hit if you don't swing the bat, right? You always swing and we'll see. We'll get a hit. We'll get a hit out there. But a lot to cover tonight. And then obviously at the end of the show, we're going to give remembrance to all the great athletes that were lost in 2023. It's always a somber moment. We do it every year now. But we are going to start off, Ron, with a major leadoff story here. And this is pretty surprising that it's gone this bad this quickly. Russell Wilson being benched for the rest of the season. What do you think this means for the quarterback's future?
Yeah, this was an interesting one because they still have a shot, don't they? I mean, are they like
7 and 8? I think they're pretty much mathematically eliminated. There's like some small, tiny.
I mean, they need like a million things to go right. But considering where they were at the beginning of the year, and to me, it just doesn't even make any sense unless they're just doing this to see what they got as a backup.
I mean,
I don't know.
That could be the case. I think the problem becomes, though, Ron, is they've pretty much said that they're going to cut him come March.
Yeah.
And when you look at you look at it this way, they're going to spend about $37 million in a cap hit because it's guaranteed to him. So how I wanted to present this to you tonight, right? And I looked at it this way. When he won 5 games straight, right? Everybody's starting to talk the Broncos, right? Look at what Russell Wilson, right? And you look at his numbers. They're 7 and 8 this season, 66.4% completion percentage. Really good. Over 3,000 yards, 3,070 yards passing, 6.9 yards per average. 26 touchdowns, Ron, 8 interceptions. His numbers aren't horrible.
No,
Like,
that's
he's
not
still
so
got some
bad.
quality, right? Like, I look at it. So I was reading a couple of stories. These are the potential suitors. And I want you to kind of either, yes, you think it could happen and why, or no, and why. Okay. And we'll start off with potential suitor, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna keep Baker.
Right. So there's a lot of talk. Baker Mayfield may test the market, right? Because he may get more
But
money.
he might do that. I mean,
what he's accomplished in Tampa Bay. That's why they're saying Tampa might be a good fit. I agree with that part of it. I think they're going to try to stick with Baker if they can work out a deal and know he's going to stay. If he tests the market, obviously somebody's probably going to pay him more than he's deserving of. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve money, but that's usually what happens when you test the market. Kenny thinks Russ is going to be okay because he's married to a supermodel. I mean, usually these guys, I mean, it works out pretty well for him. It does. It does work out pretty well. So Tampa Bay would probably say, if we're going from a 1 to 5, 1 being more likely, 5, or either way you want to look at it, 1 not likely, 5 more likely, probably a 3, Tampa Bay. It's kind of in the middle depending on Baker.
No, I actually say maybe less, like a 2.
A 2. All right, you got 2.
I don't even think it's split. I think that the chances are he's not going to Tampa Bay.
All right. Las Vegas Raiders.
That, to me, is the intriguing one because, I mean, when you look at their team, they had Jimmy, which
They still have Jimmy.
Well, I know,
right?
but
They would still have Garoppolo, so could that work?
Have him, and and he's kind of mobile. I mean, not Russell Wilson mobile, but and I think that makes a little more sense to go there. And I mean, it's tough, but I like that one. I think it's intriguing, and I think they could pull the trigger on that to put some bodies in the seats.
Yeah, see,
I don't not get frustrated.
If I'm Russ, I don't think that's the best move.
Well, I'm not saying it's the best move for him, but it's a place that he could go.
Right, but coaching-wise, we don't know what's going to happen there, right? There's still kind of influx of what they're going to do, if they're going to keep the current, interim coach, or if they're going to move on from him again. And I don't know if I'd like that situation. Plus, Tom Brady being a part owner. Do I want Tom Brady watching me quarterback? I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. So you're going more like 4 there?
Yeah, I'm going 4 there.
All right. And I'll probably stick with my 3 on that one as well. Kind of in between. Because I'm going to tell you the team I really like. But next, Pittsburgh.
No.
I don't know if him and Tomlin can work.
No.
Right? Too fiery a coach. I think Tomlin would kind of.
And I don't think they'll pay him.
Yeah, but the thing is, think about it. He's getting paid next year by the Broncos. He's going to be you could get him for a low deal because whatever you give him, he's getting $37 million from the Broncos.
Yeah.
So now you're going to like where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I do. Because if he signs like a, say,
1 year, $10 million
deal.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Otani deal. Yeah, but think about it, right? If he signs a 1 year, $10 million, he's still getting $47 million next year.
Yeah.
That's still quality money, obviously, for him as a quarterback. Pittsburgh, kind of no, right? I think we both agree, maybe a 1. I don't see it going there at all. Here's the team I want him to go to, and everybody's going to say it because you're going to see it in the background at I'm a homer. But New England. I think if you look at it from this standpoint, Ron.
Yeah, you need somebody that can run for their lives.
Listen, they've got the 4th most money to spend.
Yes.
Right? So what did Russ do with Seattle?
See, it's the 4th most money to spend, but with shallow pockets.
Hold on, though. Wait a minute. This thing could go back perfectly. So follow me on this, Ron. Most money to spend. Cheap quarterback, right? Because like I said, maybe 10 million, get your 37 million, you're making $47 million. You sign offensive linemen, you draft a wide receiver high in the draft, you have a championship caliber defense with everybody healthy. It's the same scenario. You got good running backs with Elliott and Ramondre. It's the same formula he won with in Seattle. You're basically giving him the Seattle Seahawks in the Patriot form.
See, I'm not sure because, first of all, how long are you going to sign him for?
I don't care.
Well, it does matter.
No,
because
see, can I say something?
You got to still
Go ahead.
draft.
I'll let you finish.
You got to still draft a quarterback. You have to. You have.
Yeah, I'm not saying you won't draft a quarterback because obviously you only got, even if he works out 2-3 years, he's 35.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm okay with it. Listen,
He's not Tom Brady.
this is the problem. The problem, you are one of the problems. I thought about this the other day.
I'm not one of the problems.
You are. You're one of the
I'm
problems.
the solution.
No, you are not. And I'm going to tell you why. Patriot fans wanted to stay relevant. They are the reason why we're in the situation we're in today. Because instead of New England rebuilding right after Tom Brady, they were like, oh, everybody's going to turn and you can't, and we're going to prove, right? So they tried to stay relevant, and they kept getting middle of the ground to 20th round picks in the first round. They couldn't build in the draft.
So how am I the problem?
Because now that they stink, everybody's like, oh, Bill's got to go and this has got to go. They had to stay relevant because you, as a fan, wanted them to be relevant. You wanted them to be in the playoff push. So they go 7-10, 10-7. They had to stay relevant. They had to get Cam Newton. They had to make sure that they were still
I didn't
able
want
to win
Cam
games.
Newton.
You wanted them to win games, correct?
No, when they lost Brady, I thought they were going to completely rebuild.
That's what they should have done. But there were too many Patriot fans out there that said we cannot go from Tom Brady to the bottom of the barrel and start from scratch.
And I believe I even said, why are we getting Cam Newton? It's just gonna put us in the middle.
So now you get Russ, you get an offensive line, you get him a wide receiver. He has a good defense. He's got good running backs. You're right back to where you were, where you're at least relevant again. That's my opinion. You give me a guy that's throwing 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
That's not the right player to go after. I think that would be great. That would be great.
That's my argument for New England.
But my point is if they do this and then they draft something else on that first pick, that's a mistake. You have to still draft the quarterback.
I don't think you need a quarterback in the first round. I don't think these guys are first round caliber quarterbacks. That's deeper. Thank you. I blame Ron too. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny is in. Yes, my friend. They wanted to be relevant. And then, gosh darn it, if they weren't, I almost swore there, because that's what happened. And now that they stink, everybody's like, fire the coach, get rid of Kraft, do this, do that. And I'm like, wait a minute. He kept you guys relevant for the last 3 years, which we shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have been. This should have been the rebuild year. This should have been the year they started to rise. Anyway.
Already lost Kenny's.
Already. So, all right. 3 more teams.
Week after Christmas, I already lost Kenny's Christmas card.
Three more. Washington Commanders. It's intriguing.
It is intriguing. It's not too bad.
Right, I could see that, but again, coaching situation.
Yeah,
Russ, like, do you want to go to a place going to be starting from scratch again? I don't know. This one, I think's a 1 in my mind. Not Washington, the next team, because I don't know how you make this work with Daniel Jones. They're saying the New York Giants are a potential suitor.
Oh, that? Yeah, but I can see that.
What do you do with Jones then? You can't get him. You're gonna cut all that money. They can't afford to do that.
They can't?
That's a lot of money to lose.
They can't?
Not in the NFL. In the NFL, they're gonna that cap hit's gonna kill them. I don't think you do it. I don't think you can. They blew it with the Daniel Jones signing.
Well, yeah, that's what I said.
They're gonna have to ride this out for a couple.
I said the Giants were idiots.
But I'm saying they got to ride this out for a few years. So you bring Russ in, you're going to be paying a kid on the bench for $40 million. I don't know. Anyway, the last one I think's the biggest possibility. Atlanta.
No,
Falcons.
I think they're sold on that kid.
Heineke.
Heineke
and Desmond Ritter been bouncing around. Who's starting this week? That gives them stability. They've got some young talent there. Kyle Pitts, Drake London. So they've got some offensive guys. Maybe Bijan Robinson, right? They've drafted the running back. So I don't know. I could see Atlanta being a strong push because they were all in on the Deshaun Watson.
I'm not saying they wouldn't, and I actually like them there. I mean, that's he's got some talent, but again, I mean, how's the coach? It depends on.
Yeah,
coaching.
no, I agree with you. I mean, who's that coach? Smith? I can't remember the guy's name.
See, I don't know if they'll pull the trigger on that.
Arthur Smith. Yeah, I mean, to me, though, they were all in on Deshaun Watson. They were one of the finalists to get Watson at the time. So I can't see them not making another big jump to say, hey, look, we want a number one quarterback. And as much as people are saying Russ has lost something, I still think he's probably better than 20. He'd be in the top 20 today.
Now, we're forgetting the fact that he could end up somewhere where there's already a quarterback.
I don't think it depends on him if he wants to play or not.
Well, what I mean is he could ultimately go to a team that trades their quarterback.
It could be a possibility. Listen, there's a lot that's going to happen in the offseason, especially with Russell Wilson.
Because I think that Arizona is really going to try to shop Kyler Murray. I think they're going to try to shop him because they let a lot of players go, and I don't think they even know what direction they want to go in.
I think the problem with that is, though, is anybody going to want to buy it? Is anybody going to want to buy it?
Well, that's the problem.
Right? So, again, another high price. It's like the Giants. You got Daniel Jones. Yeah. You're pretty much you're locked in for another couple of years before you can make some moves. If you got to lose it for 1 year and $30 million, it's a lot easier than doing it for 3 years. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
So
I know.
It'll be interesting to see. But we'll keep our eyes out for the Russell Wilson situation. If anybody out there has an opinion on where you think he's going to go, let us know as well. But we're going to talk some more NFL, Ron. Cleveland Browns have won 4 straight under Joe Flacco, right? Brought this guy off the couch.
Yeah, I remember you saying that they were going nowhere with him.
Right? And now, can he be the answer to them getting to their first Super Bowl?
I mean, it wouldn't be him bringing him there.
4 straight Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco.
He's now number 17, I think, all time in wins.
It's unreal what's happening. It's like we're in this vortex of craziness in the NFL. What happened? Joe Flacco.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him.
I think. Ron, go ahead.
It's how far can the defense take them?
This is what I'm saying. Right? Think about it. Ron, do you remember what you were doing in 2013? I know you wouldn't.
That was 10 years ago?
Yeah, almost 11 now. Yeah, 10 years ago. You know what? You know what Joe Flacco was doing? He was winning the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
They had one of the top defenses. Cleveland, one of the top defenses. Myles Garrett, Ray will say, is a game changer on defense. Ray Lewis. Everything's kind of working in the favor of Joe Flacco getting the Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl because it's the same scenario we saw 10 years ago.
I just think that defense is so good
that they can do it.
He is the guy that can actually bring him there because he's not going to do so bad that it's going to, really be glaring that they need a quarterback, right? So with that defense,
they got offensive talent. They've got and think about it, Ron. For him, there is nothing to lose, right? Like you said, he's playing free here. And you can see it. He's just throwing the ball everywhere. He's making good decisions. I think this could be the perfect storm where he gets the Cleveland Browns to their first Super Bowl.
And it would be nice. It would be nice. I wouldn't mind that. I could jump on board of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, look, we know their franchise has been all over the place the last decade.
Decade, longer.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They've squandered a lot of talent. And You know, it's funny how a guy can step in at that age and then just come in and just calm things down. And that's what he's done. That is the biggest difference on offense. It's not Deshaun Watson scrambling for his life, trying to run and make things happen when you don't have to run and make things happen.
Yeah.
You just need to play the game.
And think about this, Ron. If he gets him to the Super Bowl, what do they do with Deshaun Watson? Like, what do you do when he comes back? Like, is this like Flacco's team? Does he lose? Like,
if he wins the Super Bowl, I mean,
this is crazy.
In a warped world, he's better.
Right. And this
is Deshaun Watson.
In an AFC, right? Who do you trust? Miami? I don't trust Kansas City. Cleveland could make their way out of the AFC based on Joe Flacco playing well and their defense being able to stop people.
You've got Baltimore and you've got Cleveland, and I think the dark horse is Buffalo.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Ron, what about games of interest for Week 17? Who are you looking at?
Well, it all starts with that Detroit Dallas game to me.
Right. Tomorrow night, Saturday game. Weird.
I don't know who to wish to win. Like I don't like Dallas. I don't like Dallas. But there's a part of me that is just so pissed off at all these experts on anointing the Detroit Lions like the next coming of basically Tom Brady.
Sports Unfolded, fourth in Sports Unfolded NFL poll, by the way. Our rankings this week.
Yeah.
Detroit, fourth.
See, it's like I just want them to lose to
the problem with this game?
That I'm right and they're wrong.
I agree with you. The problem in this game, though, is both teams need to win.
Yes.
But for the same reason, how do you respect a team if they can't beat another quality team? So Detroit going on the road, can they win a big road game, right, against a top opponent? Can Dallas prove that they're still the elite in the NFC by beating a very good NFC team? So both these teams need to win for respect.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it that gets difficult to make a decision on, because you're like, I don't know which one can step up, because we've seen Detroit choke in the big moments, but we've seen Dallas lose in the big moments.
Yeah.
Dallas very good at home.
It's so intriguing to me because I want to see which one wets themselves.
Oh, man. Wow. All right. I also got obviously another big game this week.
Is that like 2 Christmas cards, or is that just one?
We'll just do the one. The whole city of Detroit right now. It's never sending you a Christmas card.
Is it just them though? Because Dallas is pretty bad too.
Yeah, but I think you pooped more on Detroit than you did Dallas there.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah. Let's what about the Dolphins at the Ravens?
I think Dallas is going to beat them.
Dolphins at Ravens.
Oh yeah. Right? Oh yeah. I hope Miami gets a drubbing.
Listen, Baltimore's defense phenomenal. Right? But you're seeing Lamar Jackson finally look like a quarterback that can win, not just with his legs, right? With his arm, making good decisions.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens are primed to go to the Super Bowl if he continues to play this way. I am still not sold on Miami. Yes, they beat Dallas, last second field goal, but they very easily could have lost that game. That's the first team they've beaten over 500. Show me 2 weeks in a row. And again, hostile territory, because now you're going to Baltimore as well.
Yeah, so, I think it could be ugly.
That's going to be a fun game. What else?
I've got that Green Bay, Minnesota.
I didn't pick that one, but go.
Yeah, well, it's like because Green Bay is tied for the lead in that division, right? For the wild card, that 8-7, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in that. They're both in that realm, but I mean, Minnesota's starting their like fourth different quarterback, I think, in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Every week it's like, oh, we're gonna start this guy this
I'm
week.
just
Pick 'em.
more because I'd like to see Green Bay get to that playoff
I'd
without
like,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, I know. Jordan Love. I know. There you go. There you go. That's number 4 for you. Yeah, I'll give you that one. All right. I had Bengals at Chiefs. And not because of the matchup of the Chiefs are an absolute mess right now. Taylor Swift is probably regretting every moment of going to these games now because Kelsey's throwing helmets. I can only imagine what's going on, after. That's not funny. But I will say that's got to be a lost one for me because I'm attacking Swifties right now. But I will say this. Listen, Kansas City needs to get right quick. And if they struggle in this game, even if they win, but they look bad or they struggle, I think it's done. Like their run might be over.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure it's devastating to you. I see.
It's
I got one more, but what else do you got? You got any more?
I've got Pittsburgh and Seattle.
That's my 4th game.
Oh, these two teams are both desperate right now.
Right. Oh my goodness.
There's a log jam of teams in the NFC that are trying to get to the playoffs, and Pittsburgh has been flailing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be both of those teams need it.
Whoever loses is out.
It's pretty much done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season's over. Kiss it goodbye. And Tomlin still has not had a losing season.
Yeah.
It's still out there. It could happen.
It could.
Happen.
I think Seattle. I like Seattle in that one. I think overall, I think they got a better team. I also think Seattle has had a tougher schedule.
Yeah, NFC West has obviously been really good division this year.
So, with Seattle's record, and they know they're right there, I think they're going to come and play. And I think Tomlin is going to have to watch out because
all right. Yes.
He's going to have a losing record this year.
It could be the first ever. Great NFL talk tonight. We do this every week, every Friday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to join in, Kenny's live. If you're live now, anything you want to talk about, let us know. You can buy me a coffee. Check that out to sponsor the show. Give us some support. Ron, it is time for starting 5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kenny's going to appreciate this one, right? NBA block champions. You had to be the block leader for a season to be on this list. Each one of these individuals has been on that list. Fun fact, 1973 is when the stat became official.
Yeah.
Elmore Smith won the first
correct
block champion. So we are basically taking every block champion since 1973, and we're gonna see who would be our starting 5. But Ron, you are first this week. I'm sure you have some honorable mentions.
I do. It's funny you say that.
Somehow I knew.
My honorable mentions.
Oh,
wait.
Have another one. One more sip, buddy. Woo!
All right, so I'll start it at the bottom of the honorable mentions and work my way up. Rudy Gobert.
Hey, Bert.
No, Rudy Gobert.
Yep, on mine.
It's he could be so much more too.
Look, he's got some great numbers. Look, 6-time all defense, right? 3-time defensive player of the year. Like he has good numbers.
4-time all NBA.
Yeah, but when you look at some of the other guys, right? It was just like it was so hard to put him in the starting.
Right? Field. Yeah, I know. So Rudy Gobert. I also had Marcus Camby as an
honorable
mention because he had 4 block titles.
4 times.
And I'll tell you what, I would love him coming off the bench for me. The points, 9.5, 9.8 boards. He's not going to contribute a whole bunch of offense, but that defense is nice.
Yeah, 4-time all defensive.
and one-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So he was an honorable mention. I also have Mark Eaton
So did I.
as an
So,
honorable mention.
Ron, I did a little back research on all these guys too. Do you realize out of all of the candidates since 1973, highest average in his career, Mark Eaton, 3.5 blocks per game in his career.
Yeah.
Highest on the list of any of these guys, even our starting five, Mark Eaton. So I did honorable mention.
Yeah, no, I think all his numbers kind of surprised me. Like I don't like the six.
Yeah, he wasn't a scorer though. You had Karl Malone. You had Karl Malone in
the
Stockton.
5-time All Defense and 2 Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, come on, that's a guy that also he can come off my bench anytime.
And the most won by anybody was 4. So Camby had 4, Eaton had 4. So a lot of these guys, they were some of the tops ever to get blocks in a season.
I also have Ben Wallace.
I think we get the same honorable mention.
As my honorable mention, I love Ben Wallace. Like those numbers, accolades everywhere across the board. He has that championship, right? And it was because of him.
Yeah.
He was the catalyst of it. With Rashid, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Him and what's his name in Portland now coaching? Billups. Chauncey Billups. Yep.
I mean, that was saying something because I don't think talent-wise, I don't think that team was the best talented team. But
didn't they face that Lakers team that Lakers team that had Malone and with Kobe, Shaq, and Steve Nash. Yeah, and they beat them.
That was a lopsided. Like everybody's looking at that and like, oh my God, this is going to end quick.
Yep.
Well, guess what?
Didn't.
And my finerable.
Get
combined
drinks in that cup.
Once. Save time. Alonzo Mourning.
Okay. I had him as my honorable mention as well. I only have one other honorable mention, and you didn't have Bill Walton.
Yeah, he wasn't high enough for me to.
Because he had the MVP, 2 championships.
Yeah, I know.
And he averaged a double-double in his career, so I gave him honorable mention. All right, so let's start off. Number 5, Ron.
He's my 11th guy on the list.
Who do you got? Number 5.
All right, my number 5 is Anthony Davis.
Oh.
Look, he first of all 3-time block champion.
Your favorite Laker?
Yeah, I can't.
Come on.
Second.
Who's number 5? Number 5. Okay.
8 All-Stars. 8 All-NBA, 5 All-Defense. Look, if this guy didn't have injuries all the time, what would his numbers be? It would be ridiculous.
4 All-NBA, 4 All-Defense.
5 rebound champions. 3 Defensive Player of the Year.
You're not. That's the wrong. You got the wrong guy.
Oh, I do have the wrong guy. That's Dwight Howard.
That's Dwight Howard. Anthony Davis. You said at 5.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Is that who you have at 5? Who do you have at 5? That's what we got to get to first.
Anthony Davis is there.
Okay.
But for some reason, I was reading somebody else's numbers.
Yeah, I'm like, those aren't his numbers.
4 All-NBA, 4 All-Defensive. So, it's
very good. 24 points per game. 10.5 rebounds. I agree. I did not have him at 5. I had Dwight Howard at 5. And it's because of the points. Dwight Howard, 15.7 points per game, 11.8 rebounds. So, again, a little less, a little more rebound, but the points, almost 10-point difference. But 8 All-Stars, 8 All-NBAs, 5 All-Defensive, 3 Defensive Players. Yeah, he won the block championship twice, and he was obviously the champion with the Lakers that year.
Yeah, I had Dwight Howard at number 4. So
I had Anthony Davis. That's where we flipped. Yeah. Yeah, very good. So we know where we're at 5-4. What do you got at 3?
Number 3, I can't see my number. Oh, I have David Robinson, number 3.
Look at us. We are on. It took an entire 52 episodes. We're finally almost on the same wavelength.
Look, the block championship leader was only one
Yeah.
But what he brings to the game goes way beyond that.
The
I
Admiral,
mean,
baby.
he's called the Admiral for a reason, and
Yeah.
not because he was just in the Navy.
Pretty good, buddy. Pretty good.
21 points a game, 10.6.
We're taking tickets right now for
rebounds.
Ron's
Like,
comedy act.
free throws, the
Yeah,
field
no, he's
goal
phenomenal.
percentage,
I
the
love David Robinson.
All-Stars, the All-NBAs, the championships,
One of the best ever.
MVP. I mean,
One of the best ever, by far. Agreed. I had him at 3 as well. So, I
so
mean,
we got the same list.
pretty much. Because
No, we have the same list.
2? Who you got at 2?
2, you also have at number 2, and that's got to be Hakeem Olajuwon.
The dream, baby. Yes, it is. Wow. Right? Like, holy cow. Look at his numbers, too. 9 all defensives, 3-time blocks.
Yeah.
1 an MVP,
And
12 All-Stars, 12 All-NBAs. Whew.
And the reason why I have Hakeem ahead of Robinson is because Hakeem has 2 Defensive Player of the Years. Robinson doesn't have one.
Yeah.
And that basically is really the reason.
Yeah. No, I agree. Obviously, number 1.
Number 1 has to be Kareem.
The skyhook, baby.
It has to be.
6 MVPs, Ron.
Like, I'm looking at the list, and it's like, okay, Kareem's number 1.
Yeah, right? And then we just move on from there. And I mean, and then you think about how long he played. He still averaged 24 points a game, 11.2
he was not
rebounds.
taking a back seat to anybody.
Dude, 4 block champions. He was also up there with the most ever. Like, dude, 6 championships. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We had pretty close. That was pretty good. 4-5. We just flip-flopped.
Yeah, and that's actually understandable because those numbers are pretty comparable.
Yeah, no, that was great. Let's continue this NBA talk.
Oh,
and we're going to talk about
good.
The Detroit Pistons, Ron. They've lost 28 straight games, a new NBA record.
Wait.
How dare you respect Mutombo? Mutombo, if you look at the numbers in the totality, I mean, his numbers aren't great.
No, they're not.
I love Mutombo. Yeah, I don't think he's won many.
No, he hasn't done anything.
Who are you blaming for their losses?
Well, sorry, Detroit, but I'm gonna get another Christmas card for next year gone. Look, this is the Detroit Pistons GM. There is no doubt about this. If you put anything together,
I am disagreeing with you.
I don't care because this is the GM's work. Look at the team he put together.
They're talented. They've got 6 players averaging over double digits. Cade Cunningham, very good player, Ron. You know who I blame? Tom Gores. Who's Tom Gores, you ask? He owns the Detroit Pistons. He decided, Ron, he's going to make Monty Williams the 7th highest paid coach in all of sports, not just the NBA, in all of sports. You gave him a 6-year, $78.5 million contract. You know what his career record is?
So,
Ron, what's his career record? Do you want to know?
Very poor. Isn't it like 357?
369 and 365. He's got 3 wins over 500. He's 3 wins over 500. You make him the 7th highest paid coach? What are you thinking? He's 29 and 27 in the playoffs.
This is why I said the GM, because technically the GM is supposed to hire the coach.
I like the players they have. And I'm not saying Monty Williams isn't a good coach, but you gave him way too much money to say with a guy that's he's not motivating this team.
Why they're at 28 losses in a row?
Absolutely, because the coach should be able to suck. They should have won against the Boston Celtics. They had a 19-point lead.
And that's the sad part.
19-point lead, Ron, and they blow it.
You know why? Go to overtime for that.
You know why, though? That coach Monty should have been pushing this team to say, you got 19 up in the first half. You need to get 19 up in the second half because Boston's not going to lay down. He played the same game and ended up getting burned. He doesn't make changes or adjustments that are going to benefit the players to help them win games right now.
Yeah, but they're just not talented enough. And like when we did the preview show, like, are you surprised?
No, I'm not saying that they're great. They shouldn't lose 28 straight.
Nobody should lose 28 straight.
At some point, the coach has to be like, guys, snap out of it. Figure it out. Let's go.
But
I did this interesting
But
fun
what
fact,
you
but go
can
ahead.
do, Eric, is you can just make an insignificant trade, and that jump starts a team. Just
Bench
a
a guy.
bench player.
Or benches somebody and say, hey, look, you're getting benched right now. You
Right.
lost 28 straight. Something. Make
Yes.
changes. The coach isn't doing that.
So
Monty Williams needs to do it.
It's really a collective loss of 28 games in a row because the owner let them down, the GM has let them down, and the coach has let them down, and the players have let themselves down.
Yeah, agreed. And the player's going to take some
it
accountability
is-
as well.
It
Yes.
is there's a lot of blame to 25% on the players, 25% and 25% and 25%.
100%. I like it. All right. Let me ask you this question before we move on, Ron. Do you know who the highest paid coach in all the sports is?
Would it be what's his face from Michigan?
No. Bill Belichick, $25 million a year.
Is it really?
$25 million a year. Again, that's on who knows because they never talk contract. You know he's won six championships, right? Number 2 at $18 million. Sean Payton has at least won a championship. I'm doing this for a reason. Greg Popovich, $16 million, is third. 5 championships.
Yeah.
Right? Pete Carroll, $15 million. He's won 1 in the NFL, 2 in NCAA with USC. So 3 championships. Sean McVay won a championship. $15 million. Kyle Shanahan, the only guy that hasn't, but you think about San Francisco, they've been relevant, $14 million. And then Monty Williams, who's lost 28 straight games. That's where we are. Like, you look at the names I just collectively put together, and then you throw Monty Williams.
That's the order?
That's the order. 5 out of the 6 guys have won a championship, and Kyle Shanahan's probably the best coach in the NFL right now. And he's in the top 3, 4. And then you got Monty Williams, is the 7th highest paid coach in all of sports, 28 straight losses. How does that happen? Tell me what we're doing wrong, Ron, because somehow.
Wait, does he own the Dodgers?
Oh, my goodness, right? That's a good segue. We're going to talk some Mets. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball. Talk the Mets here. And the Mets, Steve Cohen paying a record $101 million in luxury tax. Do you think this is going to cause teams to ease spending?
Well, apparently not, because what this does, it proves on how bad this system is, because the Dodgers should be paying the biggest amount.
Well,
should be paying.
Yeah, but they base it off a lot. So next year, they'll probably be the Dodgers, right? Because it's a year behind. So this was for last year.
Not if that contract is deferred and the money doesn't count towards the tax.
Yeah, but they still got the big bucks with all the other guys, Glasnow and Yakamoto, whatever. Right? I just like that Mr. Met has the mask. You see, even he's still COVID safe.
I'm just disgusted in this because I know the Dodgers should be paying more.
The record. So the record for the tax payout before, right? So the record high now is $374.7 million was the tax payroll that they had to pay the percentage on the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
Before that was 2015 by $291.1 million by the Dodgers. That was 8 years ago. So most teams stopped. Once the Dodgers got dinged big time, then it seemed like it slowed down for a few years. And now, obviously, so I wanted to do something fun because I agree with you. I don't think it stops anything because you look what the Dodgers did. They just ended up saying, let's spend over $1 billion in like 4 players. But
it scared the Red Sox.
Here's the teams.
Here's
the right. Yeah, went the Oppo way. Here's the teams that have to spend money. All right. And you tell me, this was the next. The Padres, 39.7. Did they make the playoffs? No, they did not. New York Yankees, 32.4 million they got to pay. Did they make the playoffs?
No, they did not.
The Dodgers are 3rd or 4th, if you look at it this way. 4th, 19.4 million. Did they win the World Series? No, they didn't even get there. Phillies, 6.98, decent, but again, Toronto didn't make the playoffs, 5.5 million. Atlanta, 3.2, right? Decent team. World Series champion Rangers, 1.8 million. I think that worked out for them. They
Yeah.
paid the least amount in luxury tax money of
Yeah.
all these teams. They win the world championship. Spending money isn't guaranteeing you anything anymore.
No, and it's having the right pieces, right? Look, when you have too many egos, it could lead
It
to a
doesn't work.
disaster.
It doesn't work. I think the Dodgers are going to be a disaster. I
I
really
hope
do.
they are. I hope they are. I hope they only win 10 games.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now you got 10 games. All right, my friend. We are on to
miserable franchise.
You are so bad. We are on to split decisions.
It's time.
So our split decision segment is basically we give each other two more likely scenarios, and we have to figure out how we're going to decide who wins that split decision. You are first this week, Ron. So if you want to give me your first split decision.
Oh, you're gonna like this one. Okay. Who is more likely to be traded? Mac Jones or Jake DeBrusk?
Jake DeBrusk was
Traded.
rumored. Yeah, was rumored last year. Kind of worked himself out, and I think they were okay in the organization. I think Mac Jones gets traded. It's going to be a late round draft pick, but I think it's almost a guarantee. There's no way he fits in New England's plans next year. Like, I can't see them even putting him on the bench.
I don't even think he's going to get traded. I think he's just going to get flat out.
He may get cut. He may get cut, but I don't think Mac Jones will be with the team.
No, I don't think
that
so.
he's the bigger. Yeah, so I would go Mac Jones on that.
Okay. All right.
Ron, my first split decision. Which team is more likely to win a Super Bowl? The Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions?
Cleveland Browns.
Wow. Okay.
Not even question.
Not
Detroit
even
has no
question.
defense. There's no way they're going to. There's no way. Detroit.
They put up
is gonna
35. They
be
might
good
be
enough.
able to.
They're not going to get past San Francisco. They're not going to get.
We've seen San Francisco have bad games. We've seen San Francisco have bad games.
Yeah, but in the playoffs,
Dallas bad games. Okay. No. All right. Okay, so you're going Cleveland.
Cleveland Browns only has to worry about two teams.
Okay. All right. What's your number two? Split decision.
My number two would be who is more valuable to their team right now? Tyrese Halliburton or Joel Embiid?
Wow. That's a tough one. I like what Maxi's doing in Philadelphia. And I could see, like, if Embiid's out for a little bit, he can carry the team. I don't think anybody else on the Pacers can carry. So I would say Halliburton is more valuable to that team because I don't see anybody else doing what he can do. What did he get? 20 points, 20 assists, no turnovers his last game. Like the kid's just on fire.
Yeah, he's their leading point scorer and, averaging like 13 assists a game, which is insane.
Yeah, so I would go Halliburton just because I feel like Philly still has Maxey who can carry them for a bit. If that makes sense.
Okay. No, it makes sense.
All right, Ron. This is number two for me. Which franchise will be the first to make the playoffs again? The New York Jets, who have missed 13 straight seasons, or the Buffalo Sabres, who have missed 12 straight seasons? One of them is at some point got to make the playoffs. Which one will be first?
I'm going to say it's going to be the Jets, oddly enough.
Okay.
And the reason is they could possibly do it by accident.
Next year with Aaron Rodgers or?
Yeah. They could do it by accident. Okay. Now, the Sabres, they still have to go through Boston, Toronto, Tampa, Florida, Detroit. That's a gauntlet. And
13 straight, the Jets. 13 straight.
I'm looking at the talent of those teams, and I don't see them ending their runs within the next 2 years. So the Jets could do it because they might just say, hey, you know what? We're going to spend some money and we're going to get the players we need. They're not that far.
Yeah, agreed. They got a great defense, right? Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt. Who knows where they are this season? That's interesting.
He
All
doesn't
right.
blow out his other Achilles.
That was our split decisions, Ron. It is time for some NHL talk. And this story bothered me.
Hey, we just gave Buffalo Sabres some love that nobody else does in the country.
See that? Look at that.
We talked about them.
We talked about them very briefly, but we talked about them.
And that they were going to keep losing.
So, Ron, this is coming. The Canadian minor league hockey.
This disgusts me.
They have banned handshakes at the end of games. Are they handling this issue the correct way? So basically, what's happened is there's been a lot of altercations after the game between the handshakes. Players have been suspended, coaches have been suspended, and that hasn't helped. So now they're banning handshakes at the end of the game. You can, if you're the opposing team, you can go by the home bench at the start of the game to either have a handshake or a fist bump, but not allowed to do it at the end of the game. Your thoughts?
That is just absurd because this is what separates like hockey from everyone else, right? I mean, you get that line at the end, like the playoffs in the NHL, and yet they go through the shaking. And look, I've seen wars in hockey. And then when it comes time that they go shake hands, everybody's composed. Okay. Now they've had a little problem a couple of times here in the minor leagues, right? And the juniors, actually, Canadian juniors.
Yeah. James, thanks for joining.
Suspensions and fines. They're not getting paid a ton to be there. That hurts the wallet after a while. You want to keep doing it, fine, but you're going to pay for it.
Here's the problem, Ron. This is the problem. People don't know, or humans today don't know how to lose.
No.
Because from an early age, we encourage that you're getting a participation award. Thanks for being here. Thanks for trying. So when these guys are losing right now, they don't know how to handle it. Because there's no winning, there's no losing. We're all here to have fun. That's a bunch of crap.
Right.
This, to me, is basically encouraging them to say, look, I don't want anybody to be upset. So we're not going to shake hands at the end of the game because you may have lost and you're upset about it. How about continue to fine them, continue to suspend them until they understand that, look, this is a part of the game. B, losing is a part of the game. It is what's going to happen.
Right.
You don't win every single game, every single time, people. Grow up and learn that. This is not going to help it. This is encouraging them to have that same mentality of, oh, well, at the end of the game, at least, hey, you know what? We were there. We tried. Get the hell out of here.
Right. No, and it's like you got these young players that are basically stuck on themselves and think that their crap don't stink. And they have that attitude going in it. Well, you know what? Somebody's going to end up catching you. And that's the way justice is doled out. But you can't do it at the end of the games. You can't do it.
How do you teach sportsmanship in sports? That's the whole part of it. At the end, you congratulate your opponent, regardless of the outcome, to say, hey, great game. You know what? You played a hell of a game. If you beat us, you know what? You were the better team today.
And this is why that guy on that bench is important. That is the guy that's supposed to be your angel on your shoulder kind of thing, right? He's the one that tells you this is what you got to do. Don't give me any of that nonsense at the end of the game because you lost. Don't give me that nonsense because you're sitting.
Right.
And you're getting fined.
What do you do better to win?
Right.
How do you play a little harder, try a little harder, do a little more, practice a little harder? Hey, that's how you get better. Not, oh, you know what? You lost. We don't want to make you upset, so you're not going to go shake hands.
You know what?
Unreal.
Look, it's this simple. Do you remember the movie Miracle? Remember that movie with Kurt Russell? When he had them doing suicides again. That's what you do to these players. You drill it into them.
Ron, this might make you really upset because the next thing they're going to do is you got to ask for permission to hit a player before. That's what they're going to get to. Excuse me. Is it okay for me to check him before? I want to make sure he's okay with getting hit, and I don't want to upset anybody in the stands, and he might be mad that I hit him. Are we going to be okay? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing in sports that I can't? Absolutely the dumbest thing I could have possibly. I hope they change this.
I'm going to say something that probably loses a postcard. I mean, a Christmas card.
And a post. He's a combo
You
thing.
know who had it right, and he'll be talked about, I'm sure, in memoriam. Bobby Knight. You know what? This world needs more coaches like that. I think we need to go back to that.
Barring choking players.
Like,
yeah. No, I agree. Listen, it's gotten soft. It's
way too soft. Too soft.
All right, Ron, let's talk some tough guys here. This is our pick and roll.
It's time for pick and roll.
We got to pick them and roll with them. This week's segment is on defensive finalists for the NFL Hall of Fame.
What a list.
7-1 on this. So these 7 players are all defensive players eligible for the Hall of Fame. Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Dwight Freeney, Rodney Harrison, Julius Peppers, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. We got to rank them, Ron. 7-1. You are first this week. Kenny loves the pick and roll. We're rolling with it, baby.
All right.
What do you got?
To start off, I am saying that my top 6 all should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's
all
agreed.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And they're not all getting in.
Probably not. Very odd that it would happen that way, but go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah. All right. So number 7, I have Eric Allen. 54 interceptions, 9 touchdowns, 3 sacks, 379 tackles, 6 forced fumbles. Look, nice numbers, right? Nice numbers. 1 All-Pro, 6 Pro Bowls. Just wasn't enough to get him out of that final spot. So I put him at number 7. Number 6, Jared Allen. 6 interceptions, 55 yards, and 2 TDs. 136 sacks was freaking phenomenal. 503 solo tackles, 32 forced fumbles, 4 All-Pro, 5 Pro Bowls. I put him at number 6, and that was hard for me to put him there. But I look at these other 5 guys, and I want them all on my team. Not that I'm saying I didn't want Jared Allen on my team, but I like the other 5 guys better. Number 5, I have Dwight Freeney, who just wreaked havoc on that line. 125 and a half sacks, 299 tackles, 47 forced fumbles. So he had 11 less sacks than Allen, but 15 more forced fumbles. And 3 All-Pro and 7 Pro Bowls, and he won a Super Bowl. And that separated him from Jared Allen. Number 4, Patrick Willis. 733 solo tackles, 16 forced fumbles, 2 TDs, 8 interceptions. I mean, he seemed like he was everywhere every time I watched him play. 5 All-Pro, 7 Pro Bowls. So having the most on the list for All-Pro meant something to me. Didn't have that Super Bowl, but it was good enough to put him at number 4. Number 3, I have Rodney Harrison. God, he was a menace. Mm-hmm. He was a menace.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
30 and a half sacks, 34 interceptions. He had 2 touchdowns, 15 forced fumbles, but 920 solo tackles. This dude was everywhere, everywhere. And then when you get hit by Rodney Harrison, you know it.
You knew it. Yes.
You know it. And it pained me not to put him higher than number 3 because I love the player. Love the player. But, even though he got those 2 Super Bowls, but he only had 2 All-Pro and 2 Pro Bowls.
Horrible. Stinks.
Only.
Stinks.
Right. But number 2, I went with Julius Peppers. And, he was a force. He was a force. 11 interceptions for a lineman. 6 touchdowns. He had 159 and a half sacks, 557 solo tackles, 52 forced fumbles. These numbers are crazy. 3 All-Pro, 9 Pro Bowls. Didn't win a Super Bowl, though.
Nope, did not.
Didn't win a Super Bowl. But number 1 in my book had to be Darren Woodson. 23 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 11 sacks, 639 solo tackles, 12 forced fumbles, 3 All-Pro, 5 Pro Bowls, 3 Super Bowls. And when you win 3 Super Bowls, you are a big part of those Super Bowls. You got 3 of them.
Yeah.
You got 3 of them.
This is the first for us because I got it completely different.
Completely different.
So
Okay.
I went 7. I went Patrick Willis because I didn't like he didn't have enough of everything. So 20 and a half sacks, great on the tackles. And I did combined tackles, 950 combined tackles, which is still phenomenal, right? 20 and a half sacks wasn't enough for me. 16 forced fumbles. Some of these guys on the list 3 times that. 8
But
interceptions.
he's more of a
middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just I couldn't
stop the run.
I couldn't do it. This one hurt me a lot. Rodney Harrison at 6. And I look, dude, combined tackles, 1,206 combined.
He's crazy good.
Oh my gosh, it was. But then the 2 Pro Bowls, 2 All Pros, it hurt me a little bit. And again, 15 forced fumbles. I don't know. I wanted more meat and potatoes. I went Woodson at 5.
Wow.
I went Woodson at 5 because, again, 11 sacks, 12
Are you
forced
sure you don't have
fumbles,
anything in your cup?
23 interceptions. Didn't blow me away. Didn't wow me. So then I went at 4. I went Eric Allen. 54 interceptions, Ron.
I know.
54. That's phenomenal.
I know.
And I had 6. He was a defensive player of the year once. So I went Eric Allen at 4. I went Jared Allen at 3. 136 sacks, Ron. 32 forced fumbles. 6 interceptions. I liked the substance. He had more of everything.
Yeah, but it was more with the other players, what they do, what they bring to the field.
Think about what
is
Jared
more
Allen.
than those
Minnesota
numbers.
didn't have him. The 136 sacks, 32 forced fumbles.
Oh, I know.
I don't know. I went Dwight.
These are all great players.
Yeah, they are. Listen, there's no right answer. I don't think there's a right or wrong on this one. But Dwight Freeney at 2 for me. Only 350 combined tackles, but he was a defensive end. His job was to rush the passer. 125 sacks. I'll take that. But not only that, give me 47 forced fumbles. That's pretty damn good.
And like I said, he was just a home wrecker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he just destroyed the line, and I remember them playing the Patriots. Playing him.
Dude, I don't forget. Yeah, Dwight Freeney. And then I went Peppers at 1. 159 and a half sacks, 52 forced fumbles, 11 interceptions. He had double digits in everything. And I'm like, how do you not 9 Pro Bowls, defensive rookie of the year, 3 All Pros?
And
Ron,
this is
Ron got it right. He said, Kenny thinks you got it right, but I don't know if I agree with that.
Look, I
you
love
went the championship part.
Who doesn't win a Super Bowl though?
I get it, but the player itself. Listen, he was the Carolina Panthers. 159 and a half sacks.
Oh, I know he was.
52 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
The rest of the team sucked. It's not his fault.
Well,
not his fault.
You know,
I don't know, Ron. I don't know. But hey, you know what
We'll
time it
see.
is now? It is prediction time. And
Mm,
you could go Oppo on every single game tonight,
yeah.
and you'd still lose. So we already know who the winner is this year.
Mm.
But and I will let you know what team you have to wear. We will get into that soon enough. But again, James joining us, Kenny joining us. Make sure you guys give us your picks as well. If anybody else is out there live wants to give us your picks, we'll get your name on there for the final one of 2023 before we start our 2024 prediction chart next week. So excited about that. Actually, 2 weeks, because this will roll into this final prediction chart. But Ron, you are first, so you give us our first game here. 12. I come in third. Very good, Kenny. Kenny got a lot of picks in there. 12-29. You got OKC Thunder at the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Denver.
I went Denver as well, right? I think it doesn't matter, buddy. It's all just for show now. It's all just for show.
I have to let you win one. No, you wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, it's so sweet. Kenny got OKC. Okay. That bodes well for us.
He's trying to go ahead of me now.
James got Denver. All right. On January 3rd, we got the January 3rd already, New Year. Holy cow. Los Angeles Clippers at the Phoenix Suns. I went Clippers here, man. Clippers are hot. They're first. They're in first place. They're playing well. 500 right now, Phoenix. And that combo thing, the 3 that we talked about, Bradley Beal hasn't played. It's so that there's no 3s. Subs. I don't know who the subs are. The Suns? Is that Suns? That's got to be Suns, James. The subs. James having a little early, adult beverage before the New Year.
James.
Yeah. Suns. Yeah, I got you, buddy. I figured it out. What do you got, Ron?
I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns.
All right.
Going to go home team.
You already heard Durant already complaining. Not happy.
Not surprised.
Like crazy, right?
I actually hope that the Suns do lose, though. If that makes anything.
Mid-season trade some point again. Kevin Durant wants to go to another team for every year.
And who's he going to destroy this time?
Who knows, right? All right, 12:30, Ron. Tomorrow night, you got the New Jersey Devils at the Boston Bruins.
Okay, so they called up Merkulov, the Russian prospect. He's probably going to play. So I'm going to say he's going to get a goal right off the start. And I think the Bruins are going to win this game.
Kenny went Bruins. James with the little bear. There it is. All right. I went Bruins as well. I think they need this one. They got to start to play better hockey consistently again. They kind of had a bad stretch there. January 4th, we got the Florida Panthers at the Vegas Golden Knights. Florida playing very good hockey. I still think the Golden Knights are the cream of the crop when it comes to the West, and I'm going because they're home. I went Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going Florida. I'm going Oppo on this one. I am going with them. I think they're gonna just try to bully their way through a road game and hope that that's what they need to do. I think they have so much talent on that team that they can pull it off too.
All right, Kenny went Knights. Vegas, baby. James got a little bit of dice going. Playing on the craps table there.
So I'm on my own island.
Yeah, you are. All right. What about we already know where James is going on this one. Tomorrow night, you got the Detroit Lions at the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm going Dallas. I said it earlier. I would like a tie, but
please don't.
But
I
think Dallas is. I think Dallas is going to manhandle them, especially after the loss to Miami.
Yeah, James. I wonder. I already wrote your name down. It's a lock. Kenny, who do you got? I'm going Dallas here as well. They're so good at home. They're like a completely different team. So I'm going Dallas. Kenny going Lions. I think Dallas on this one. I like it with the little cowboy and the star. Look at James has got the emojis running tonight.
I love it. I do love the emojis.
I love
those answers.
New Year's Eve, Ron, you got the Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. I am not a believer in the Dolphins. I still am not. I love what the Ravens have done defensively. I went Baltimore here.
Yeah, it was my turn to go first, but that's okay.
Was it?
I'm
I don't
going
remember.
Baltimore as well.
No, you went first, didn't you? That's all right.
Baltimore is just a better team. You know, yes, there's a lot of flash on Miami, but when it comes to defense, they'll be able to control the offense of Miami.
James just trying to put some kind of bird. He's got a red bird on there. I like it.
So the Cardinals.
But B more. All right, we're all in Baltimore here. I think that's a lock there. All right, some college matchups, some big ones, Ron. New Year's Eve, number 6 Georgia Bulldogs at the number 5 Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go Florida because of the mouth of Georgia quarterback putting up a little feistiness on Bill O'Brien, right? Was that him or was that Alabama? No, that was Alabama's quarterback.
That's Alabama.
That was Alabama's.
James went Georgia.
So I'm going Georgia then. Wrong team.
Kenny. Oh, so you're going Georgia now?
Yeah, I'm going Georgia.
All right. I will say this. I don't think Florida State even belongs here. I know they were complaining about not getting in, but Georgia's out for revenge after losing to Alabama and not getting into the championship. They're just gonna go off on this team. January 1st, national championship games here. Number 4, Alabama Crimson Tide at the number 1 Michigan Wolverines.
So here's the actual quarterback. I'm going to go Michigan.
You're going Michigan. All right. I'm going Alabama, and I'm going Alabama because Michigan has sucked in the playoffs. And for some reason, I don't see that changing until I see it. It's almost like the Dallas Cowboys or Miami Dolphins beating real teams. I'm doing the same thing here. Michigan hasn't beaten anybody in the championship. They've lost every year. James going Michigan. Let's see what Kenny got.
I ran out in my special cup.
Uh-oh. Kenny went Wolverines. So both of them, I'm the only one on the Alabama train here. Also, January 1st, you got the number 3 Texas Longhorns at number 2 Washington Huskies. I'm going Texas here. I'm going Texas. I listen. They've beaten Alabama. They play. I think they're prime, and I'm just as much as I like the Huskies season and what they've done. I'm not buying into it. I still think that Texas is the better team. James won Texas. Little cattle there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I don't want to agree with you, but I have to. I have to.
It's got a little cattle there. Look at that, Ron.
I know, and that swayed me on my Texas pick.
Kenny went Texas Longhorns. That is our predictions. Before we get into our final thoughts, Ron, I know we're going to do our Memorium, so I don't know if you wanted to start that now, and we'll run that through and then do our final thoughts.
Yeah, we'll save the final thought.
All right, so this is the part of the show where we're going to just have a remembrance of all the great athletes that were lost in 2023. Sometimes we do get emotional with these because some of these guys meant a lot to us in, us growing up in what they meant in the sports world. So, Ron, I appreciate you doing this. And anybody that wants to join in that is live, if you remember something great about that player or something, let us know as well, okay? Ron, however you start this off, my friend.
All right, so this is a massive list. Okay, so there's going to be players from all sports and all around the world. It is quite the list. So please, if you know these players, please post a comment because there's going to be some from all kinds of countries and stuff. So, and we're going to start it off with tennis. Dick Savitt, 96-year-old, 2-time Grand Slam winner. Cycling, Camille Huey, a French cyclist. I did not write, for some reason, the age, so my apologies. Magnus White, 17 years old. This was a promising kid from the United States. He was the winner of the junior 17, 18-year-old cyclocross national championship. And he was going to be the guy going into like Olympics and stuff. So unfortunately, got hit by a car while cycling. Yeah. Surfing, Michaela Jones, 44 years old. Rugby, Carl Webb from Australia. Clive Rowlands, 85 years old from Wales. And Des White, not Des, 96-year-old Hall of Famer from New Zealand.
Wow.
Bodybuilding, Gustavo Badell, Ironman Pro Invitational 2006 winner, 51 years old. Water skiing, Michael Geller, 18 years old. BMX, Pat Casey, 29 years old, brought home a gold, 3 silver, and a bronze at the X Games. Diving, Pat McCormick, 92 years old, 4 Olympic golds, swept both goals, 2 consecutive Olympics. Shooter, Jorge Ballesteros, 39 years old, 3-time gold European champion, 1 gold, 2 bronze at the World Shoot. Swimming, John Devitt, 86-year-old Hall of Famer. Stuntman, Robbie Knievel, 60 years old.
Oh, that was his son, right?
Yes. Yeah. 1999 jumped the Grand Canyon. I mean, I watched both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I watched his dad for years, and then press and broadcasters. Rick Hummel, 77, Hall of Fame writer. Rick Genere, 81, he's the Buffalo Sabres play-by-play. Dick Davies, 94, Britain's World of Sports host. Ivor Robson, 83, golf broadcaster. John Motson, 78, Ken Squire, 88, Bill Shonley, 93, Portland Trailblazers broadcaster. Billy Packer, 82.
Oh, man, Billy Packer was so good. Covered so much.
The best.
Yeah.
The best. Skiing. Jeremy Nobis, 52. Patrick, oh my God, some of the names. Patrick Gassianig. That's a tough one.
That was really close.
Yeah, I'm sure it was close. Elena Franchini, 37. World Cup, 2 golds and 2 bronze in her career. 37. It was cut short.
Mm-hmm.
Rossi Mittermeier, 2 golds in the Olympics, 2 golds, 1 silver in the Olympics, 1 gold for the World Championships, West Germany. So she was one of the best back then. Kyle Smain, 31, from the United States. He won gold at the World Championships. So that was, that was a big loss for the United States, of course, and takes out a hopeful, right? And then some of the great ones too. Wrestling, Eric. It was a brutal year for wrestling. Jim Breaks, Curtis Chapman, 83 and 26 years old, from British wrestling. Mike Montour Halak, 55 years old. Larry Poffo, 68 years old. Superstar Billy Graham, 79 years old. The Iron Sheik, 81 years old. Terry Funk, 79 years old. Robert Miller, 78 years old. He was Bushwhacker Butch.
Oh, wow.
Bray Wyatt, 36 years old, and Jay Briscoe, 38 years old. So they were still relevant. Rowing, Martin Feely, an Irish Olympian. Track and field, Ralph Boston, 84 years old. Jim Hines, 76 years old. Dick Fosbury, 76 years old. Andrea Barberi, 44 years old, Italian sprinter. And Tori Bowie, United States, 32 years old. 3 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze in Olympics. She was still going. All right. That's only the first page. Yeah. It gets harder. Coaches. This is a long list. Terry Holland, 80. Bud Grant, 95. Denny Crum, 86.
Wow, Denny Crum. Wow.
Yeah.
Louisville, right? Yeah.
Roy Kidd, 91. Buddy Stevens, 66. Dick Sheridan, 82. Clint Gustafson, or Gustafson, however you pronounce it, 91. Vince Tobin, 79. Bill McGovern, 60. Chris Ford, 74, former Celtic.
Celtic Lincoln. First one in NBA history to hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah. And then Bobby Knight, 83.
Big loss. Yeah.
It is. That. Believe it or not, Indiana is the reason why I started watching college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Bobby Knight as a coach.
Yeah.
You know, probably for the same reasons as people watched Billy Martin.
Yeah. Exactly.
Golf. Bob Panasic, 82, Canadian golfer. John Bland, 77. Andy Bean, 70. Don January, 94. Eddie Merrins, 91. And then 2 Hall of Famers. Marlene Haggy, 89 years old. And 95-year-old Betsy Rawls.
Oh.
That's a big one. That's big. All right, soccer or football. Football. So if you're out there and you know these players, please put something on there that you know about them. Dimas Filgueres. I know I'm butchering his name. He played for, gonna butcher this too, Botafogo in the Brazilian League, 79 years old. Bernard Bem, 87, Poland. Alain Laurier, 79, France. Shaharudin Abdullah, 75 years old, Malaysian Olympic skier. Skier, right? Soccer player.
It's close.
39 international goals, too.
Wow.
Christian Atso from Ghana, 31 years old. Just Fontaine, 90, from France. Wow. France. 21 appearances in international games, matches, 30 goals. Volkan Karaman, 43. Anton Walks, 25 years old. He played for Charlotte and Atlanta in the
I remember
MLS.
this. Yeah, I remember hearing that
Currently with Charlotte, I believe.
Yeah, I remember hearing that story.
And he played in the English Premier League. Not the Premier League, the League One. Gianluca Vialli, 58. From Chelsea in the Premier League. And also in Sampdoria and Juventus. And Sir Bobby Charlton, 86, from Manchester United. 199 goals for Manchester United. And he played a lot of international too. Yeah, that's a tough list. Racing. Craig Breen, 33, rally driver. Bill Vukovic II, 79. Rick Hoyt, 61, from the Hoyt racing team.
Mm-hmm.
He is from Holland, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow. Local.
Hometown, right? Kyle LeDuc, 42. He has 69 off-road wins. Ken Block, 55, 106 rally wins. That is a big win because I knew Ken Block. I mean, I've seen him race. Paula Murphy, 95 Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Hall of Famer. All right, here we go. Hockey. Nick Kurdiles, the one that's married to what's her face? Can't even think of her name right now because the list is so overwhelming. 29 years old.
Oof.
Raymond Sawada, 38 years old. Dallas Stars. Rodion Amaror, 21 years old. I believe that was a Russian player that died there. Roman Chechmanik, 52, played for Philadelphia Flyers for the most part and a year with the LA Kings. Adam Johnson, 29. That's the one that got the skate.
Yeah.
Chris Snow, 42, the Calgary Flames GM. Reggie Savage, 53, played for the Washington Capitals and the Quebec Nordiques when they were in Quebec. Gino Odjick, 52, Vancouver Canucks for the most part. Played for a lot of teams after that, but he's a Canuck. Peter Klima, 58, Detroit and Edmonton. And then Hall of Famer Bobby Hull, 84 years old, Chicago Blackhawk Hall of Famer. That was a big, big loss. Big loss. Basketball. Ivan Almeida, 45, Cape Verde player. Samboy Lim, 61, Philippine. Larry Gator Rivers, 74, Harlem Globetrotter. Regis Clancy, 24. Danielle Ballard, 29. Lance Blanks, 56. Walter Davis, 69 years old for the Phoenix and Denver franchises. Felton Spencer, 55. Former Boston Celtic, Eric Montross.
Yeah, that was recent. Yeah.
Nikki McCrae, 51. George McInnes, Hall of Famer, 73 years old, Philadelphia and Indiana. And then Willis Reed, 80 years old, two-time champ for the Knicks
Knicks, yeah.
and a Hall of Famer. That was you got some solid
Yeah.
Hall of Famers there in basketball. All right. Football. Football. A lot of them are going to be college players. College got hit pretty bad. But Ben Seafried, 22 years old. Bill McCall, 93 from the Chicago Bears. Sidney Thornton, 69 years old. Bobby Besthard, 86 years old. John Brockington, 75 years old. Ed Flanagan, 79. Johnny Lujack, 98 from the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears.
Rough, yeah.
Maxie Bohan, 85 years old from the Eagles and the Rams. 9 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, and a championship. Ryan Reed, 22 years old. Cedric Killings, 45 years old. Ray Lewis III, 28 years old. Akeem Hebron, 34 years old. Malik Gant, 25 years old. These are young. Jaden Hullaby, 21 years old. Dick Haley, 85 years old from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Otis Taylor, 80 years old from the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a 2-time All-Pro and a Super Bowl winner. Ryan Keeler, 20 years old. Stanley Wilson Jr., 40 from the Detroit Lions. Jesse Lemonnier, 25 years old. Hunter Brown, 21 years old.
Jeez.
He was an offensive lineman for the Air Force. So that one's kind of a special player. DJ Hayden, 33 from Oakland and Jacksonville. Matt Ulrich, 41. Alex Collins, 28 from Baltimore and Seattle. Cody Ince, 23 years old. Joe Campbell, 68, won Super Bowl from New Orleans and Oakland. Johnny Cooks, 64. Fred Willis, 75, Houston and Cincinnati. Clark Hagens, 46, Super Bowl winner from Pittsburgh and Arizona. Jim Turner, 82. Norma Hunt, 85, owner.
Owner of the Chiefs.
Joe Kapp, 85, from Minnesota and Boston.
Going back.
That goes back. Charles White, 64, from Cleveland and the Rams. He's an All-Pro. Chris Smith, 31. Conrad Dobler, 72. Bill Levy, 76, a referee. And Art McNally, 97, also a referee. Russ Francis, tight end, 70 years old, from San Francisco and New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
1 Super Bowl, 3 Pro Bowls. Very good player. Bob Brown, 82. A Hall of Fame tackle, 6 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro. Frank Wycheck, 52, from Tennessee.
He was involved in the Miracle, and right, the music Miracle. Yeah, I think he's the one that threw the pass. Mm-hmm.
I believe so. Mike Williams, 36, Tampa Bay Buck.
Wide receiver. Yeah.
Gil Brandt, 91, Hall of Famer for the Dallas Cowboys, VP of Personnel. So he had a big hand in what they did over there. Former Patriot Ryan Mallett, 35 years old.
Yeah, I can remember when he came in and the competition. They thought he might, with the Brady thing, and yeah, Brian Mallett. Wow, 35.
Dave Wilcox, Hall of Famer, 80 years old. I don't know who to put next. There's 2 left. So we'll go with Dick Butkus, 80.
One of the best ever.
Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't really have to say much. You just know who Dick Butkus is.
One of the greatest.
And then you don't have to introduce this guy either, Jim Brown, 87, Hall of Famer.
Some of the best ever, man.
Yep. Well, we're down to baseball. And it's funny because we always blast baseball, right? But I'm looking at this list, and it's hard to see it. All right, Carlos Pulido, Minnesota Twins, 52 years old. Ryan Miner, 49, sorry. Ted Lerner, 98, Nationals owner. Mike Shannon, 84. Don Deckinger, 87. Mike Ivey, 71. Jim Poole, 57. Nate Colbert, 76. Pete Seidler, 63. Padres owner Frank Howard, 87. Alex Cole, 58. You remember him, right? He played for the Sox.
Okay, yep.
I want to say it was Chicago or Cleveland or something like that. He was a speedster until he came to Boston. Roger Craig, 93 years old. Did you know he was the one that basically created the split finger fastball?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Big time manager, player. He spent his life in baseball. And we're glad he did. Hobie Landreth from Cincinnati and San Francisco, 93. Yankee Joe Pepitone, 82 years old. Former Milwaukee Brewer Sal Bando, 78. Willie Hernandez, an MVP as a relief pitcher, by the way. That's how good he was. Cy Young Award, 3 All-Stars, and a World Series. He was 69 years old. Detroit Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
He had the mustache and the fro sticking out of his head. Never forget. Never forget. He was good. Oh, where do we go from here? Tim McCarver, 81. You know, I
The
mean,
voices, man.
the voice, and he was a great catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Vida Blue. That man should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how he's not. He has an ERA title, 3 World Series, 6 All-Stars, a Cy Young, and an MVP as a starting pitcher. 73 years old. Oakland is where you know him from. Oakland A's. Brooks Robinson, Hall of Famer. 86 years old. One of the best third basemen ever. Top 3. At least top 3. And then Tim Wakefield. You know, it's funny because, like, I waited till after I said a Hall of Famer to put Tim Wakefield, but he was just a Hall of Fame person. And, you know, there's a lot of great moments. There was a lot of rough moments, of course. You know, but what he did, you know, in his career was pretty good. I mean, he helped the Red Sox win a World Series. And that is saying something because, you know, up until that first one, you know the history.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you know the history being a Yankee fan watching him. You saw the good for you, and then, you know, and then those clutch moments where he comes in and just does what he does, and it just, and then the person outside the game.
Yeah.
It's a tough list. I mean, we had the list last year, and I think that hit even further home because it was Jerry Remy.
Yeah.
And he was from my hometown. And, you know, so it was a list. And there's so many great players and stuff. I can't even put it in perspective. You know, and I had to do this Tuesday with Kenny. We did the in memoriam.
Yeah.
Everybody else, right? It's a lot of people that we lost this year. A lot. And there are a lot of big names on there. A lot of Hall of Famers in all kinds of sports. And you know, it just goes to show you that life is precious. You need to just enjoy these moments while you have them, because they don't last forever. I just watched like Prince singing Purple Rain in a concert that I never got to see before, and I'll never be able to go see him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, you look back and it's like, wow, you can't enjoy that anymore.
Take for granted, right?
You know, I mean, when you think about those players that are playing now and when they're gone, you know, how are you going to feel? You know, so those people that were around when Magic and Larry and all of them played, you know, you better enjoy that. Go back and watch their careers. Michael too, you know, all of these guys, Wayne Gretzky. No matter what the sport, go check out some Muhammad Ali stuff and revisit those people. That's when we had some greats. You know, and now these players that are here today, they're trying to do the same thing, if not more. You got to enjoy them. You got to enjoy them. So when those teams come to town and you don't like them, it doesn't matter. You don't like Dallas, doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter. You got to enjoy those players while they're here.
A lot of special players, a lot of special moments. It's always tough to hear some of the names because they hit hard.
Yeah. Frank
But
Wycheck is one of them.
yeah, and I think at the end of the day, right? We've agreed on, and we've said this in the past. Regardless of the team, and you may not have liked the team, right, or the sit, right? We're from New England. We don't like certain teams. We don't like certain, right? It's just how it goes. But at the end of the day, these players meant something.
Yeah.
If it wasn't to your city or your organization, but it meant something. Even when they came in, you always either rooted against them or you were dying to see them, and it was like, New England playing Chicago back in the day, and you got to see Walter Payton running. He wasn't from my team, but just the way he could glide and run, and you would want to see that. And you got to appreciate those moments.
It's no different than watching a Red Sox Yankee game. I'm a Red Sox fan, okay? But I can appreciate Derek Jeter. I can appreciate Mariano Rivera. I can appreciate guys like Ron Guidry.
I heard a great story about Jeter, and I know we're going off track a little bit, but it was funny because one of his last at bats was in Boston, and they wanted to play the New York announcement for him coming out, and he said absolutely not. He goes, "That's a New York thing," and he even knew then it wasn't going to be the right place or time to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? He wanted to keep it all the same.
I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even he got a hit and they stood for him. Like you got to appreciate greatness because it could go tomorrow, as crazy as it sounds.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you taking the time to put that list together on. Every year it gets, it's just as difficult each time. And I appreciate everybody out there that, stood with us and actually, took time to remember some of these great players and these great people. Listen, some of them you may not have known, but they meant something to somebody.
Right.
And we wanted to take that time.
Yeah, that's why when I do the list, I know where we're watched, right? I know we're pretty big in Brazil. For whatever reason, doesn't matter, right? And we're pretty big in Philippines, which Sarah and Deputy is from the Philippines.
Oh, Sarah, yes, that's cool.
So, I know, we need to make sure that we
represent everybody.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like soccer players, I looked for every soccer player I could find, because I know, what it means. And Brian, who does the Just for Kicks, would appreciate that.
Yeah.
So there are going to be people, hey, it might be only a few people, but they'll appreciate that. And somewhere up there, all those people are watching. I don't care what anybody says. They're all huddled around that same big, massive screen, and they're watching because there's a tribute to them.
Yes, absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
And this is why, I wanted to save the final thought for after.
Yeah.
Because my mom is one of those people that are up there watching right now. And so is Kenny's.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so my final thought is this show is for them too. I wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for my mom. Simple as that.
Very well said, Ron. My final thought is just to wish everyone a happy new year, right? Appreciate. Take some time. Today, teaches you something about life. And hopefully, take some time to appreciate everything you've had this year, even good and bad, right? Learn from it, be safe, and grow from it. So, Ron, thank you for sharing all of this tonight. I am so sorry. But I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this every week with you. And you know what? Your mom is watching every single show. So
absolutely.
I'm sure she's very proud. Kenny, again, your loss as well this year. But you know what? Next year, we start fresh again. And everybody out there, just enjoy, be safe. And we'll see you in 2024 for season 4 of Sports Unfolded. Always a difficult show for me. I'm sorry.
No,
but
it is.
I appreciate each and every one of you out there that have watched live. If you're watching later on, take some time, follow us, all our social media platforms. You can't miss them. Can't miss them. We're everywhere. We'll continue to grow in 2024. Ron, I ask every single week, let's just have peace on earth. Can we get this thing right at some point? 2024, let's make it right. Peace on earth. And Happy New Year to everybody out there.
Have a great night, everybody.